more slander, more nonsense, more lies, all of the scrutiny that comes with being not only woman, but being young and being a Black woman.
Up next, we've got to check in with our favorite Democratic member of Congress, the one and only Jasmine Crockett. My love, my bae, our queen. She's not a fan of us, the mediocre white boys, of course, but we love her because she's the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to content. There's a new story we're going to go over from the New York Post where a bunch of ex-staffers explain that Jasmine Crockett is kind of a boss from hell. Let's read from this. Exclusive New York Post reporting from Stephen Nelson. Trump critic Rep. Jasmine Crockett is a no-show boss from hell who terrorizes staffers, aides say, quote, all diva, no wow. I don't exactly know what that means, but it doesn't sound good. Rep. Jasmine Crockett has positioned herself as an unfiltered critic of President Trump, earning regular TV appearances and an enthusiastic online following. But congressional aides tell the Post that the Dallas Democrat is just as rude and mean to her own staff. The liberal loudmouth, 44, hey, she looks good for 44, dang, has rocketed to fame since taking office in January 2023 as a fiery antagonist of the Republican president and his allies. But three sources who have worked with or for Crockett say she's rarely present when TV cameras aren't rolling and terrorizes staff when she does appear. Well, that's just a glowing review from the people close to you, isn't it? I mean, you hear this about a number of lawmakers, and oftentimes these ex-staffers criticizing them are, they're always Democrats because they're working for Democratic members, and oftentimes they are Black women. They are the exact demographic of people that they claim they stand for. And they're like, actually, these woke bosses treat us terribly. And it sounds like Jasmine may fall into that category. She is laying around her apartment, won't come into the office, and is really just indifferent to staff and will scream at them, the former aide said. She's never in the office and is very disengaged. She does her bullshit that goes viral and then freaks out over the most random things. You might be wondering what they mean by she's never in the office. Well, the article does explain. Crockett is not often found at her government-provided suite in the Longworth House office building, with one insider saying she prefers to work from her nearby luxury apartment building, sometimes for weeks on end. Yes, I'm sure she's very hard at work, working from home. They also share in the article this really funny story about how she demands to be driven around by her staffers in rented cars rather than what they normally do, which is just having the staffers use their own vehicles. And she like sits in the back like it's an Uber, and she really does think she's hot shit. She really does. The second source close to Crockett's team added, it is widely known that she's not nice to staff and is just not really a dedicated member focused on constituents. She's focused almost exclusively on being an influencer, not a member of Congress, said a third source who has worked with Crockett, describing her as all diva, no wow. Now look, I can't verify the allegations made in this article, and I always do take things with a grain of salt when they come from anonymous sources who sometimes have a score to settle or a personal vendetta or bias, but I have to be honest, none of this seems out of keeping with Jasmine Crockett's public persona or character whatsoever. It really does seem to align exactly with the version of herself she presents in public. I mean, in some ways it doesn't, because she, I'm sure, denies all these allegations, as we will come to, but like, this is the exact same energy she gives off. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if she's that way behind closed doors to her staff. She gives egotistical. She gives brash. She gives rude. Honestly, she embodies many of the worst traits of Donald Trump that she often criticizes, that I think her criticisms are often hyperbolic, but sometimes have some truth. But like, she's like that too. She's kind of like a woke Trump, except less funny. Now, I want to pause for a moment and give you guys a chance to guess how would Jasmine Crockett respond to these allegations? I'm just going to pause on this. Let me know in the comments. Doon, 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 doon. Yep, played the race card. The least shocking turn of events ever. Jasmine Crockett responded to these allegations in an interview on cable news with Major Garrett over at, I think, CBS. And she said, wah, 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 I'm a Black woman, basically. Take a listen to this clip.
Are you a no-show boss from hell who terrorizes staffers?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I know that I have arrived, honey. That is the way that I see this. Because as Beyonce says, if they're not talking about you, then obviously you must not be doing anything. You know what? This is just more slander, more nonsense, more lies. And honestly, I don't think that the New York Post would probably be the first ones to be able to figure out if I was a boss from hell. You and I were joking before we got on camera about all of the scrutiny that comes with being not only woman, but being young and being a Black woman. Yeah, there's a lot of scrutiny that comes my way, and it comes my way from all different angles. But when people start talking about you, that's when you know that you are obviously getting under their skin. So I am not going to give up. There's a song that I like to quote every once in a while. It says, "Your hate is my motivation." So keep hating. All it does is motivate me to continue to do what I do, which is to be loud and proud on behalf of the American people.
So you hear this a lot from people. Well, they're just hating me because I'm over the target. And people across the spectrum say this, and maybe it's true in some cases, but it's definitely not true in all cases. I mean, did people just hate Osama bin Laden because he was onto something? I personally, I don't think so. That's not my take. Like, sometimes they hate you because you're hateable, not because you're doing amazing work and they feel threatened. Like, it could be that, but it could also not. Crockett, it could also not. And the invocation of her race and her gender. I'm a Black woman. So what? Black women can be great. They can also suck because they're people. They're individuals who deserve to be evaluated and analyzed based on their own merits and character and actions. And your public comments and character are not great, if we'll say so, Jasmine Crockett. So it would not surprise me if she is similarly nightmarish behind the scenes, as this New York Post article suggests. And it is absolutely a cheap deflection to just invoke, I'm a Black woman, so I'm being scrutinized. Actually, a lot of the staffers complaining about you are Black women too. And that's specifically referenced in the New York Post article. So other than that, you really ate that up. You really dismissed that criticism there, except for the part where you didn't address any of it at all and just played the victim and then acted like being hated means you're inherently correct, even though that's not true. Other than that, though, Jasmine, you're doing amazing. But honestly, shout out to you, girl, and thank you, because I have to come up with a lot of content for this show. And on that front, you are the gift that keeps on giving. What do you guys think? Are you big Jasmine Crockett fans? Let me know in the comments.